Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. So last week I talked about some of the basic rights you have as a patient, but I did not complete that section because the video was becoming too long. So we listed 5 basic rights that we have as patients, and today we are going to be continuing with the other 5 rights that we have as patients when we go or seek medical interventions. Now, the sixth right that you have as a patient is the right to privacy. This is very key. So, last week I had an argument with a patient. I was attending to a patient, it was in the dispensary. I was basically dispensing medication to a patient, and then this man opened the door and walked in and then started ranting and saying things like he needed to get it. And I'm like, excuse me, sir, you'd have to wait outside. As you can see, I'm attending to a patient. And the patient is, and then the man is like, how can you tell me to go outside? This is not just pharmacy where they collect drugs. And then I give him an instance. There are people who are taking certain medications and do not want you to know, because some of you already know how these medications look like. You can come in here and probably see a patient receiving an antiretroviral, and you can go out there and start shouting and telling the whole world, hey, I see that woman for hospital where we go collect drug now. Now HIV medicine, she dey collect. Things like that could happen. So patients have the right to privacy, not just during the consulting with the doctors. They also have the right to privacy when collecting their medications. There are times where you have to explain to a patient how best to use a particular medication. For instance, take for ladies that need to use a vaginal insert. They might feel really awkward having another patient standing there, and then you're trying to explain to them, oh, and when you go, you squat, you bend down, you put the inserter, you put the plunger, all of this information. People don't feel comfortable with them. So as a patient, if you're being attended to and you're having a third party there, you have the right to be sensitized who that third party is. The third party could be a trainee. You have the right to say, excuse me, doctor, who is this person and what is this person doing here? I need some privacy. The doctor can decide to say, oh, I'm so sorry, this person here is also a doctor, and we're both consulting, or better still is a trainee. You have the right to have this information. You need to be sensitized if the person you have is a trainee or the person is just, some random person. And if it's a random person, you have the right to ask the doctor, please, can you help me ask this patient to excuse us so you can have your privacy? So you have the right to privacy as a patient. The seventh right you have as a patient is the right to confidentiality. That English is big, eh? Okay, calm down. Let's break it. You have the right to confidentiality. That is, any information you share with your doctor, you have the right to the information being concealed where it is. It ends there with the doctor. So there was a case of a lady who went to the doctor for consultation. In the process, they realized she was pregnant, and she pleaded with the doctor, knowing fully well that the doctor is friends with the boyfriend. She told the doctor, please, I do not want my boyfriend to be informed about this. Guess what, people? The doctor went ahead to talk to the boyfriend and told the boyfriend that this is, no matter who that person is, be it your mama, your papa, or anything, you do not have the right to share your patient's information without the consent of that patient. If anybody does that to you, you have the right to sue that person. Another right you have as a patient is the right to know the rules, regulation, or the code of conduct of a particular facility. Take for instance, a hospital has a rule that noise making or playing of loud music is not allowed from patient relative or patient or anybody. And then you get to that place, you start playing music. You are wrong. And that is why you have the right to know. But if anybody comes to you and is like, how God, why you play music like that? This is like, you have the right to say, I am not aware. But if you had told me, or if it was stated at this point, I probably would have known and would not have gone against that. So you have the right to know some of the rules or the code of conduct that guides a particular facility, so that you do not go against the rules of that place. You have the right to know. The ninth right you have as a patient is that you have the right to explanation on your bills. So if you go to the hospital and they tell you, "Oga, all your money na 150,000 naira," you have the right to know the breakdown of that 150,000 naira. You have the right to the pharmacy billing, you have the right to the consulting fee, you have the right to the laboratory fee, you have the right to the admission fee, you have the right to know every single thing that makes up that bill. Now, I've worked in the hospital and then I see people, when the patient is like, "Hey, give me my this," and then they are looking at you, they're like, "This one too, they do say, and you see the one." No, you have the right, my brother. Don't let anybody, my sister, don't let anybody intimidate you. If they tell you your money is 150, let them give you a breakdown on what constitutes the 150,000 naira. You have the right to that. And finally, let me go. Finally, this doesn't end the right that you have. There are other rights you have as a patient. You can always look it up, or when you get to a facility, you can decide to ask what are the rights you have, and you'll probably get them. But I only picked the basic and the major rights you have as a patient. Now, the final right you need to know as a patient is that you have the right to be informed of what to do in the case of an emergency. For instance, you're being managed for hypertension and then you realize that your blood pressure goes below normal. What can you do to bring it up? You have the right to know that, okay, if you cannot get this, please just make sure that you take lots of water. It can help to, build up the volume, and then in turn increase your blood pressure and bring it up to a reasonable normal. So these are some of the rights that you have as a patient. I want to believe that this video was helpful. Please remember to drop your comments in the comment section. Let me know your experiences. Let me know which of these instances has played out when you went to the hospital. If you had any experience, any good one, any bad one, just let me know in the comment section. Let's continue this discussion in the comment section. I still remain your drug queen Doronal, saying stay safe, stay healthy, and bye for now. Yeah.